Great day. I am First Lady Sharonda Cannon from Fresh Start Church here on day 14 of our 31 Days of Wisdom from the book of Proverbs. I will be reading from the Amplified Version, Proverbs chapter 14. If you have your Bible, follow along with me. Verse number 1, but before that, it starts with contrast the upright and the wicked. Verse number 1. The wise woman builds her house on a foundation of godly precepts, and her household thrives. But the foolish one who lacks spiritual insight tears it down with her own hands by ignoring godly principles. Verse number 2. He who walks in uprightness reverently fears the Lord and obeys and worships him with profound respect. But he who is devious in his ways despises him. In the mouth of the arrogant fool who rejects God is a rod for his back. But the lips of the wise, when they speak with godly wisdom, will protect them. Verse number 4. Where there are no oxen, the manger is clean. But much revenue because of good crops comes by the strength of the ox. A faithful and trustworthy witness will not lie, but a false witness speaks lies. A scoffer seeks wisdom and finds none, for his ears are closed to wisdom. But knowledge is easy for the one who understands, because he is willing to learn. Verse number 7. Leave the presence of short-sighted fool. Leave the presence of a short-sighted fool, for you will not find knowledge or hear godly wisdom from his lips. Verse number 8. The wisdom of the sensible is to understand his way, but the foolishness of short-sighted fools is deceit. Fools mock sin, but sin mocks the fool. But among the upright there is good will and the favor and blessings of God. Verse number 10. The heart knows its own bitterness, and no stranger shares in its joy. The house of the wicked will be overthrown, but the tent of the upright will thrive. There is a way which seems right to a man, but appears straight before him, but its end is the way of death. Verse number 13. Even in laughter, the heart may be in pain, and the end of joy may be grief. Verse number 14. The backslider in heart will have his fill with his own rotten ways, but a good man will be satisfied with his ways. The godly thought and actions of his heart pursues and in which he delights. Verse number 15. The naive or inexperienced person is easily misled and believes every word he hears. But the prudent man is discreet and astute and considers well where he is going. Verse number 16. A wise man suspects danger and cautiously avoids evil. But the fool is arrogant and careless. Verse number 17. A quick-tempered man acts foolishly and without self-control, and a man of wicked schemes is hated. Verse number 18. The naive are unsophisticated and easily to exploit and inherit foolishness. But the sensible are thoughtful and farsighted and are crowned with knowledge. Verse number 19. The evil will bow down before the good, and the wicked will bow down at the gates of righteousness. The poor man is hated even by his neighbor, but those who love the rich are many. He who despises his neighbor sins against God and his fellow man. But happy, blessed, and favored by God is he who is gracious and merciful to the poor. Verse number 22. Do they not go astray who devise evil and wander from the way of righteous? But kindness and truth will be to those who devise good. 23. In all labor there is profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. The crown of the wise is their wealth of wisdom, but the foolish of close-minded fools is nothing but folly. 25. A truthful witness saves lives, but he who speaks lies is treacherous. 26. In the reverent fear of the Lord there is strong confidence, and his children will always have a place of refuge. The reverent fear of the Lord that leads to obedience and worship is a fountain of life, so that one may avoid the snares of death. Verse number 28. In a multitude of people is a king's glory, but in a lack of people is a pretentious prince's ruin. 29. He who is slow to anger has great understanding and profits from his self-control. But he who is quick-tempered exposes and exalts his foolishness for all to see. A calm and peaceful and tranquil heart is life and health to the body, but passion and envy are like rottenness to the bone. Verse 31. He who oppresses the poor taunts and insults his maker, but he who is kind and merciful and gracious to the needy honors him. The wicked is overthrown through his wrongdoings, but the righteous has hope and confidence and a refuge with God even in death. Wisdom rests silently in the heart of one who has understanding. But what is in the heart of short-sighted fools is made known. Verse 34. Righteousness, moral and spiritual integrity, and virtuous character exalts a nation, but sin is a disgrace to any people. Verse 35. The king's favor and goodwill are toward a servant who acts wisely and discreetly, but his anger and wrath are toward him who acts shamefully. Thank you for listening and following along. I have read again Proverbs chapter 14, and it had 35 verses. May this wise proverb bless you. And if you lack wisdom, remember it says in James to ask the Lord and he will give it to you. Stay tuned for all the rest of the days of this month. We have 31 days of wisdom in the book of Proverbs. So make sure to tune in at 12 noon each day with Fresh Start Church. Thank you so very much.